Hello and welcome to Organic Chemistry, our lecture, which will be entirely online, which addresses probably the biggest aspect or potential problem of this course. It's online. You are jumping into organic chemistry, which is a challenging course, but it is something that we can get through as long as we try to engage. Okay, so I'm here to try and help you get through the course. I need you to contact me. I need you to make that reach out. To that end, we do have a variety of ways to do that. Email is one, but we'll have our discussion board. And yeah, that's going to be it. Email and discussion board. We can schedule one-on-one meetings, which you will be doing in the first couple weeks. But that's why I'm here. You're literally paying me to help you. Please don't just ignore me. Give me a reason. Okay. To that end, it might be nice to know who I am. I'm Mike McFavelin. I've been teaching at Chandler Gilbert now for 8 or 9 years, something like that, and then I've taught at ASU, Mesa, and Scottsdale community colleges in the Valley, and then I did a little bit of teaching as an undergrad or as a graduate student in San Diego. So I'm here to help out. I will be seeing most of you, if not all of you, most of you in lab, because some of you are just taking the lecture. So you'll get a little bit of one-on-one interaction with me in there. As far as the course goes, so what we are seeing here on this screen is our overall course. I do want to draw your attention to a couple things within this video, and that's why we're doing the video. First and foremost is this thing called the to-do list. Okay? And I've noticed students that really, really like the to-do list, and it is a fantastic thing. It is a fantastic tool if you use it as a tool to supplement what you're going through. Do not use it as the end of your line, like that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so use the to-do list to be like, oh crap, I forgot to do that. That's useful. Don't just sign and be like, oh, I got 2 weeks to do that. I'm not going to worry about it yet. You need to be working towards all of these assignments, and there's a better tool that I think will help kind of deal with that scheduling aspect. Okay. You should start on the welcome page. You should be reading through it. We've got some kind of funny pictures. This video, in fact, is on the welcome page, or will be, probably right next to the horse picture. Let's go with horse picture, appropriate location. Within it, I do want to draw your attention to this kind of thing in the middle there, saying organic chemistry is a 1-year course. Okay, this is probably the biggest important aspect for those students that need more ochem, particularly for second semester. Ochem is a 1-year course. If you only need 1 semester, that's okay. Just realize you're missing out on half of the content. Okay? For those people that need both semesters, you need ochem 1 to complete ochem 2. Okay? So you can't just forget content. If you think back to Gen Chem, there's Gen Chem 1 and 2. Oh, that was a 1-year course. No, it wasn't. It was a 2-semester course. ochem is a 1-year course, and you really need to kind of hammer home all of the practices that we're talking about this semester so that you can do well in second semester. Okay, so be aware of those kind of limitations. We get down and talk about some of the basics. This time expectations is a big one to address. I do provide kind of a Google sheet that will force you to make a copy of it. And what that does is just outlines, I think, every hour, maybe every half hour of a day for the whole week, and then multiple kind of sections. You should be scheduling out your time. If you want to do well in this class or in any academic career, you need to schedule out when you're going to be doing things. One, it's going to help clean up you actually finding time to complete things, but it's also going to clean up your ability to actually exist as a human being. Okay? And I would like you to have that opportunity, but you have to schedule that. You have to get that nailed down so that you don't let your life overwhelm your academic career, and you don't let your academic career overwhelm your life. Okay? You need a balance between those. So with that, we should see a next button. It's not there. And of course, the modules button link isn't there either. So what we would do is just go up to our modules. Hopefully I'll fix that linkage. And modules is what we're going to see for the rest of the semester. So after the first week, I'm going to get rid of that as that image as our home page, and we'll go straight into the modules. Things to point out here. If you look in the upper left-hand corner of each of our individual units, you'll notice that there's this little complete all items thing, and it's got the red thing next to it. That complete all items is for your benefit. That really has nothing to do with me. I don't see it. I don't know what's going on with it. But the point behind that is that I've got each of the items kind of flagged in this with a particular task. So for this first one, it's submit. Okay. I haven't submitted it as a student, so it's an open circle. So I know if I were you or if I was a student, that I need to submit that to get that check mark. So ideally, when you're done with a particular unit, all of these things would show green check marks. Some of them don't have marks. In fact, I'll probably change that one so that you can see it as a check mark so that you know you've completed that task. Okay? So most of week 0 is just introduction stuff. The end of the very first week, I'm going to take week 0 module and I'm going to dump it to the end of the list so that what it will open up into will be our actual week or starting the semester unit 1 content. And yes, we're starting right out of the gate. Get started. Don't wait. You're starting now. Okay? Read through all this background stuff. There's some assignments in it, a syllabus contract that you have to go through and complete. Okay? Or we'll stick with that little arrow, the syllabus contract. Office hours, I'm going to be making office hours based on your schedules. Okay, so your ideally best schedule. So wherever something best overlaps, that's where I'm going to assign my office hours, but I have to wait for you to tell me that in the office hour poll. Okay. Engagement is going to be an important one. And to kind of get that started off, I want something beyond this just allegedly you watching me talk through this. That's where this interaction with me comes into play. And in this very first section, I'm going to force this for the first or one of the very first 2 weeks. So to get the engagement points, you actually have to set up a meeting with me. Okay, so go to the Google Doc. That's what that link is for. It gives you an idea of my schedule, and it'll let you know if other students have already picked slots. Okay, so you can't pick that time slot. Once you've selected your slot, bubble it in, color it in so nobody else picks that slot, and then email me and let me know that that's the slot you picked. I'll then send an invite to you so that we can actually meet at that appropriate time. Okay, you only have to do that for the first week. If you want to do it for the second week, that's fine too. But starting week 3, we'll switch to normal office hours, and that's where I would expect you to be coming in to talk with me about what's going on within the content. If you're struggling with it, do you need help? Homework's not working. All of those kind of things should be addressed in those office hours. That's why they're there. Okay. Other ways to engage, we have a Piazza discussion board, which I'm hoping goes a little bit nicer this time. We have shared Google Docs for practice exams, so you'll have practice exams that are available. You can create student study groups. You can talk to each other. That's useful. Okay? All of these things are going to be things that will help you get through the class. Okay? So let's go back to our modules. We covered all the big stuff. So now let's go down to our Unit 1. Our Unit 1, one of the things that I really want to draw your attention to is each of our units. So this is for the first, I think, 5 weeks. If we go through and take a look at this, each unit starts off with a little bit of a page, a little description of all the videos that are associated with it and some of the assignments. But the biggest deal that I want you to see is this unit schedule breakdown checklist. Okay, this is going to be a big deal. You'll have to re-download it every time. And it should have forced you to make a copy of it. But what you will see here is all of the assignments for the individual unit, how much time I think it's going to take, okay, for you to complete that assignment, the suggested due date, okay, and then the official due date. You'll notice that there's a lot of assignments in here or things that don't have official due dates. Watching the lecture videos, that's on you. Like if you decide to not watch them because you're a rock star at ochem, great. Don't watch them and hope that you just do well on all the other assignments. Right? That's kind of your choice. The other thing that's nice within this is that you can use this to track if you've done it. Okay, so in kind of addition as a second layer to what Canvas gives us within the modules, you could go through and be like, I've already watched the very first lecture because, I'm just ahead. Done. Okay, now you have a way to track that. You'll notice there's extra tabs down below for Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. Those have not been built yet, which is why you'll see the link and you'll have to make multiple copies of it. Okay. So yeah, there's all that content. The Google Slides are there. Practice exam is linked in there. You will also find links to both those things in the unit module if we scroll back down to that. So we've got the practice exam. We've got the Google lecture slides. Okay, the practice exam is open, so anybody can access that and edit it. And that's going to be kind of one of the clutch things. You can edit that document. So if you go in and put answers into that, I can then go in and be like, that answer is awesome. Okay? Or that answer is probably missing this aspect. You're probably missing the point of the question. So you can get feedback, and not only do you get that feedback, everybody else who has access to it also has feedback. Okay? And that's kind of the point of that document, is to help everybody through it. We will use Piazza as our discussion board. So the point of that discussion board is really falling in under engagement, okay, which hopefully you can see down there. Okay, the engagement, the easiest place to do that is posting to the discussion board. Okay, there are periodic points throughout the lecture videos where I'm like, hey, this would be a great post to Piazza. Maybe you should post a comment about this. Okay, so start just trying to engage and work through that content, and the more you work through it, both with me and with each other, the more likely you're going to do well. Okay, within Piazza, as a discussion board, it's not just to discuss random topics. Really, what I want you to do with that discussion board is treat it like a public email. So if you had a question about something like maybe buying the textbook, sending me an email about it is okay, but now only you benefit from that. If you post it to the discussion board, I'm checking it just as frequently as email. When I respond to it, now everybody now has access to that information. Okay, so that's the point of that discussion board, is really a group study guide, and it should be used that way. Okay. Last thing, which is always a point of contention for everybody, and I fully expect it to be a point of contention this semester as well, but we're going to use it, is this thing SW5, okay, Smart Work 5. Smart Work 5 is an online homework program that allows kind of two things. One, it does make my life a little bit easier because the homework that's been selected now gets graded by somebody else. Okay? It does make your life potentially more difficult because your homework gets graded, and that's literally the biggest point of the homework. If you turn in standard homework to me, it's not going to get graded with the level of detail that Smart Work 5 is going to grade it, which means you actually get feedback that allows you to learn the content. Okay? However, you now have to work within that system. Okay? That is always going to be a challenge. Okay? So this is where I put out a 3-try rule. Okay? And this is discussed, I think, in one of the modules as well. 3 tries. When you're doing an online homework, you get 3 tries. Okay? 1, 2, 3. At that 3rd try, you're sending me an email. Okay? Why? Because after that 3rd try, you're probably just pissed that you're continually getting it wrong, and you don't know why you're getting it wrong. Okay? 9 times out of 10, the reason you're getting it wrong is because you don't know what you're doing. Okay? Literally content. You don't understand organic chemistry, and that's why you're getting it wrong. Okay? Smart Work is forcing you to be perfect. That's what you need to be to do well on the exams. Okay? And it sucks. Okay? Full disclosure, it sucks. Okay? Nobody likes to be told they're wrong, but that's what it does. Okay? There is about 10% of the time that the reason you're wrong is because of some quirk within smart work. In that 10%, what is that quirk? It's usually because you didn't read the directions, okay? Which is unfortunate that you're getting things wrong, but you didn't read the directions, okay? Those kind of direction issues are common mistakes even faculty and tutors make them. The last 5% is because there's an actual quirk within the system, a programming quirk that you need to understand to be able to answer it right. So we've got content issues, we've got reading directions issues, and we have programming issues that all pop up. Why 3 attempts? You don't know which one of those reasons is why you're getting it wrong, which is why you have to contact me. Because if I look at it and it's content, I can address the content flaw. Okay? If I go in and look at it that it's just reading directions, I can address the reading directions flaw. If it's a programming flaw, I can address the programming flaw. In all of those cases, benefit you, because probably what I'll end up doing is just giving you the points. Right? It forces a little bit of that engagement. So work through it, struggle through it. You will have a hard time with it. Okay? But it forces you to do things correctly that if you submitted it by paper, no grader is actually going to challenge you on. Okay? So smart work forces that correct alignment. Paper homework we do have, but that paper homework is really just to say that you're actually writing things down. As long as you're writing things down, I don't really care. So all that's going to happen is I'm going to open it up and look, yep, those are organic structures, full points for the paper homework. The smart work is where you actually have to struggle through it, okay? 3 attempts, 3 attempts. If you try 4 attempts, I'm not going to fail you. You just lose points at each attempt, okay? I've had people get up to 18 attempts, and then they contact me. All I do is just give you a little bit of a hard time. We figure out what went wrong, and we move on, okay? 3 attempts tends to be the limit for people's like anger level. Okay? If you get angry when you miss something once, don't wait for 3 attempts, email me once. Okay? The point is to talk about why you're getting things wrong. Okay? Ideally, you struggle a little bit first with it so that you figure it out on your own because you'll do better then. Okay? If you always contact me before you're even getting it wrong, you'll pick up some stuff, but you're probably not going to pick up as much, which means when we get to the final or when we get to an exam, you're going to struggle on the exam. Okay? So smart work is effectively exam level material, but lower stakes because you can get those points right. Okay? Do not wait for the due date on smart work. Okay? All of the smart work is officially due the Tuesday, because Monday's a holiday, the Tuesday before exam 1. For exam 2, because the Monday isn't a holiday, it'll be due that Monday. Okay, so it's due at the beginning of the week that the exam is located in, so that you can spend the rest of the week actually studying and preparing for the exam. Okay, with that, I've reached the limit that I wanted to talk about this. So hopefully we all have a good semester, and I will talk to you guys soon, maybe even as early as next week. Okay, with that, thanks. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.